I had a client take 2 weeks off last year, a real 2 weeks, phone off, properly out of the business, and the business held. The team kept the work moving and the revenue came in. He came back, walked into the office on Monday, and by Wednesday afternoon, something had changed. It was the team's rhythm, their punctuality, their decision speed. 3 days back in the building, and the standard had moved. It wasn't worse, it was different. And he asked me the question that took us 6 months to answer properly. What was the team doing when I wasn't there that they stopped doing when I came back? This is the part of the founder bottleneck nobody surfaces in the operational conversation. We talk about operations. Who does the work? Who owns the outcomes? What runs without you? That's the visible layer. There's a second layer underneath it, and that's how the team behaves. What standard they actually hold themselves to. What they do at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday when the founder isn't watching. And that layer is invisible until you're not in the room. The 2-week holiday test is usually run as an operational check. Take 2 weeks off and see if the business runs. It tells you whether the systems and the people can carry on with the work without you in the loop. It doesn't tell you whether the standard holds, whether the team's punctuality holds, whether decisions still get made on the same day that they're surfaced, whether follow-through still happens by Friday. The operational tests ask whether the work continues. The behavioural tests ask whether the standard continues. Different question, different answer. Here's what I've watched happen across different businesses. The founder leaves, and for the first few days, the team operates exactly the way the founder modelled. Same hours, same response times, same discipline. Then around day 5 or day 6, the team starts to find their own rhythm. Sometimes the rhythm is better. The team gets tighter, more efficient, takes more ownership. Sometimes the rhythm slips. Meetings drift. Replies get slower. The work still gets done, but less edge. Whatever rhythm the team finds in week 2 is the real operating rhythm of the business. The rhythm that holds when you're out of the room is the actual baseline. The one you see when you're in the room is the rhythm of you being in the room. If the rhythm gets better when you're gone, you have a different problem to solve than you thought. You're not just a bottleneck on the work. You're a tax on the team's actual performance. Your presence is slowing them down. That's the founder who fills meetings with their own talking, who second guesses team decisions, who holds the team to a standard that nobody asked for. If the rhythm slips when you're gone, the standard you've been holding isn't built into the business. It's held in your head and you're enforcing it by being present. That's the founder whose accountability runs on watching, not on systems. Both situations are diagnostic. Both point at something specific you need to fix. Neither one is fixed by you being in the office more. Here's the move I usually start with. Pick a behavior, not a system, not a process, a behavior. Punctuality, response time inside the team, decision speed on small calls, end of day handover quality. Pick one. Then ask 3 questions. What does this behavior look like when I'm in the office? What does it look like when I'm not? What's the gap? And what's the standard? If the gap is wider than you thought, you have a calibration problem. The team doesn't know what the standard is when you're not there to demonstrate it. If the gap is smaller than you thought, or the team behaves better without you, you have a presence problem. You're the friction. Calibration problems are fixable with one thing: visibility. The standard has to be visible inside the rhythm of the business, not held in the founder's head. A scorecard the team checks weekly, a 131 cadence on decisions, a rhythm that names a standard for each role. Once the standard is visible, the team holds it, whether the founder is in the room or not. Presence problems are fixable with one thing too: discipline. The founder steps out of the meetings they don't need to be in, stops weighing in on the calls that the team can make, stops modelling a standard nobody asked for. That's harder because it asks the founder to give up a behaviour that feels like leadership but acts like interference. Brendan Elias was a client of mine for 2 years at A to Z Formula. 2 years of high standards held inside an operating system that didn't depend on him hovering. When Brendan went on holiday, the team's behaviour didn't change in week 2. The standard was visible in the systems and the rhythms, the work pipeline, the client communication cadence, the team's internal rhythms. All of it sat outside of his head. And you can build that. It's a deliberate handover, the integrate phase. The part founders skip because it feels slower than just doing the things themselves. The teams that hold the standard when the founder is gone are the teams that spent 6 months calibrating to a visible standard. They're not the teams the founder watched closely. So here's the test I'd run this quarter. Don't take 2 weeks off just to see if the business still runs. Take a week off and ask one specific person to write you a 1-page report on your back. What changed in the team's rhythm in the first 3 days? What changed in the team's rhythm by day 6? What was better? And what was worse? What was different? Read it before you do anything else when you walk back in. That 1 page tells you something the operational version of the test will never tell you. It tells you which side of the line that you're on. Are you the founder whose presence is a tax, or the founder whose absence reveals a calibration gap? And both are fixable. Neither is fixed by working harder. If you watch what the team does differently when you're not there, you'll find the next move you actually need to make. It might not be the move you walk back into the office expecting to find. So what is your team doing when you're not watching? See you in the next one.